يعني تاتاوني لك تانتا خاصة إذا ما هو أنا ويشغل شابا أبدي يسجل
about ADHD. She's written a book called She's a Hot Mess, getting diagnosed at the age of 36 and just dealing with all of that and figuring herself out. The WhatsApp line is going crazy because I think this is something that we all, not all, but a lot of us can relate to so much.
Yeah,
you know,
because it's not that widely spoken about.
Exactly.
It's hitting home.
Exactly.
Ajo utlika si tututu muka ba ulule uli rumu da falana atonga sanganya
the time blindness, the full head, guys.
Kana ke watsona le se mama ga zo mushiya yena sko.
Kaka zumun tang ho na kala.
I feel like sometimes, you know, older people like parents or maybe people that don't understand mental health or people that are anti-medication sometimes dismiss or minimize rather what it is that you're going through. Have you ever experienced that? Or they don't have an understanding.
That's it. I feel like they don't know what to do with these generations. I just feel like they don't have an understanding.
Swatala kulito kwa mayuti
yani
jana was
la kana wa dum bitaka bo siten sibo mabel ko mo wa inkawa ta
ma joro ka tabe to on to potan
si la ne
activity makam afita kai wa enda ja
na gitsi biti
tala gebe ele ata batho ba rata dia golo yo to ichipele jwa la mko kana ke standard sa te la ma ka tanyane na wa bona jwa
sure
na golo na wana yo di
sure
ka batla we fani
esa mi solo ka
ya na ipucho te jwa meta
Thanks for sharing. It is really just so freeing to find what is happening.
oh busy
How we're still in conversation with Kate Oliver, South African author and mental health advocate. She's a hot mess. This book is about ADHD, mental health, and self-acceptance. Now, the launch theme says your mess is your energy. What does that mean?
That's pretty much in place. What do you think is your message? That's usually where you find your message. That's what you're supposed to, overcome or figure out so you can go out and help people. That's usually where you're going to find your purpose is, right in that place.
You speak about how you started understanding your brain. Has that changed how you show up in motherhood, relationships, and work?
Yes, 100%. Because, with an ADHD brain or anything similar, when you're sitting in
ma ga ya wana sun ko la ga ga ba ai na
na setting le ya bum kai ma to wa kai station
so
go is ba
modify them
that's cool
yes
one to basike
hi that's good
oh kinto sinshwele ne kimo bonanza atkoma mke
yes kana ke sana golo yes kana ke asota sota bipusha ka yo bela yo
ne pa skuta le pa ile sele nombo
That kind of sometimes comes with it.
kana ke jale venga ga otsebe ko ka mo kana ke otsebe go thata ke wa tsa sa tsebeng
Today I do
ma otsebe thata ke ya shwa ke ntengwe ya
simple nye
where does my brain want to focus today? Maybe it wants to focus on, maybe it wants to focus on, building a website or whatever it is. Or reading. I'll let my brain. I'll say, okay, well, that's what we're doing today, and not forcing myself to do something that I just don't want to do that day and then feeling bad about it.
Being a mom, do you think it just extra pressure?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Being a mom with ADHD and that guilt, because the thing is your sensory overload is overstimulating a lot of times, and having small kids and toddlers that are screaming, it's not like a usual scream in your ear. It is piercing. It pierces through you when kids are screaming, etc. And we deal with it because we're moms and we love our kids and we deal with it. But there are women that are really struggling with it as well, that are moms, and the women that are struggling with it need to know that that doesn't make them a bad mom, and I think that's also a very important conversation.
You're just neurospicy.
You're
neurospicy. If your younger son, the little girl in the book, could see you now, what do you think she'd say?
She would be very proud. I mean, I've always loved writing. I've always loved stories since I was a kid, and just knowing that I wrote this thinking about me and her basically. I know she'd be very proud.
We are so proud of you. Thank you so much for coming through on the show. What would you like to say to other people listening to the show that struggle but haven't really figured out what the problem is?
That there's so much freedom in finally figuring out who you are and understanding your brain, and there's a lot happening on social media where you see that you've got to have, I don't know, 10 step skincare, you've got to have everything figured out, you've got to make meals, like crazy meals every night, and you don't have to be so perfect all the time, A lot of people struggle, you're not the only one, a lot of people struggle with anxiety or some sort of mental issues, and when we can give ourselves grace and say that it's okay to not be okay every single day, that's your freedom.
Be kind to yourself. And then also, just to wrap up, to maybe a parent that is listening and suspects that their kid could have some sort of like mental health struggle, what would you say to them?
That it's nothing that they need to stress too much about. Get them seen, like take them to a therapist or GP or something.
Oh, like a shark today? Yeah, the shark.
They're just gonna be a little bit different to other people, but they're gonna have.
I think it's a good quality. I love being on this. When you see you're spicy, that's all. Which is extraordinary and different. That's all. Find a copy of your book. Thank you so much for the honesty, the vulnerability.
Thank you too.
Hi, this thing na 150 na makhathi.
We must have a way to empower shock.
Even not,
now I speak someone with Spanish. I hope I only try to go to Mushel and not like I fast.
The shop if okay, it is still why I'm Boma 2 months, 3 months, so we bring affair. Kapalan way, when target for Impidoma 5 strand. I go batal as well. One depends on my uncle in one talk about Gazum Tango in so can I give for your local one 1.6 and then I'm registered a chop up 6 strand on my kids. We on from my own guy, my Jews, one trigger, Ay, kaya. And happy aja se femese fetasi jagidi buma ampla kan fi. And they put them two is a guy. Yaman no go and nakasitze maka ko twada. Aga ya kaya awa an jigala maka kan si wala la shidi ka bagi. Lim dewe aman chilenga gati. Agi se bina wo witsala dama. Dewe aman chilenga gati na shuzi ai. Agi se bina wala shidi mshito ko.
It is not rock music. It is not rap, but definitely Mascani. You know that Mascani music, man?
No, it will heal you.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Let's do that 5 FM cheers. Smash Africa Weekend. 2 to 5 p.m.
5 FM.
I wish I had a
Bagit lagi ya, yang mana menjawab cara. Itu yang lagi yang sebenarnya tuan pada lagi di nu kalau di fair lah, yang mana kalau kita kalau ante mau di fair sasa.
From the Blind River to Oribi Gorge, stay connected with us at 5FM.
Gotta step up the fucking game. Gotta stand on the business and not be playing. No Jane. What I do is smoke on Mary A. Niggas wanna do that shit every day. That's what I'm just doing, don't play. Sometimes really feel like OJ.
Daqui, isso aí tava chipa, olhou uma chipa, que achou para dar.
Beba.
Ah, essa vez aqui não é ali, utsho ngomali say again to 150 uma millions leswana ka 120 utsho mo sansa quality ntho ya rena I mean ya re bo di lunch
ke la ke sale ele wa chaisa mo ntate tla ba entse
e nngwe ebile
ai so kana ke ai ntse tseo tino bitse kana ke me ya ka shibile ntili
ban lo o shapela lo ntso e ngin tsa tshis kemen na tso a re tsole tsena ka ka compare is la lo mo la kana ya mo le da ki mun na la ya bona mama angamla o tsho ngile bu mi khosa ona mangamla ka Mga fetsa go releka ka ba ke KP ba.
ke se ke bona mamang iwa
Ke ra tla re setse sengwana.
kana ke sa bula kwa ka ngamla kwa no di chips ne
Yeah. Se. Di chips kai.
nga ka di fake makule nto ka bedeli ya kala
Se na.
ke nto la ka nza
Ona lo mo tsibelande ke a shwe. Oh, plus o ba chips style mi ya wo mva ba. Ya kama tsibela ma nsanga ya kama da. Okay.
kwa ya ka ha ja kwa
mo ke mo tlhagatsela dimpa ma fela.
yo ne ya so ga mai gaza so wiwa ne malende na
O tsamaya ma. Ola yang gamona tshizini.
na ke so ga la ke o ene
Ang gamona tshizini.
ai to lu lu ko so man a sa bu chak suwe mo no te sa
Kasi kisho lang nuwa ang gamona ko sa to kan sing pa. Marana hani yung muna pilo wala kinayong kito maso. Lazim sa bene kamo. Kinayong kito mas just fela ako yan chiwa. Kinayong kito mkena plaza ba tawo da. Kito mkena no shuzi ang gumwa na mo.
That's what's happening upstairs. So you feel like the doctor's just gonna open up Pandora's box? Yes. Not a can of worms, a can of snakes. It's not gonna look cute. It's not gonna be fun. It's gonna be scary for me and you. You know, you're not the first person to say to me that they are like so afraid of getting some sort of diagnosis or even going to therapy. I've got a friend who completely refuses to go to therapy because she's so scared of what's gonna unlock. Yes. We worked so hard, especially after trauma, to hide what we went through, not only to people but to ourselves. Sometimes come up with stories of like, there's no way that I'm going to be able to start justifying it or completely erasing it from your mind. You know what I mean?
it's something that is, of course, a coping mechanism for scary things. And a lot of these conditions are brought on, yes, majorly by DNA and your genes. So if you know you have a lineage of family members who have needed psychiatric help, you're like, well, if I go, I was just like needed too. So I just have like keep that door closed. Okay, when you're ready. Yeah, give me time. Time. Yeah. Yo, I stress about it a lot because I have a lot of people in my life who've taken the brave step and wanted to find out because it's as good as getting, a physical check. You need to, get your physical check-in. You need to go see your guy. You need to do those things for your body. And your brain is literally a body part. Exactly. So if you are not gonna, watch the things on your arm, that could depend on your brain too. Yeah. I know Dave as well. How dare you? Yeah, how dare you? There's nothing. I went through nothing. My childhood, smooth. Everything grand. Oh, I'm so resilient. Yes, I can deal with this. Don't you know? I'm an overcomer. Really? Are you? Are you sure? I know I'm gonna cry. It's not gonna be nice. No. When you're ready.
Kaki foto wita anstu kun kana kwena se
Ma.
o yo ta se na ta
Ako wala butaw, aja ka naman kinahuwa shoes mfiti mzala mo.
muna bana lin to muna debe na wasu kase muna gili
Kinto ya nto vena ja ho, aja ka naman nzimata vena shoes. Kinlo ya mvena ke hola ba mchezo umfana tshi. Yena usho mvena itumchisi. Yena o la ke khoma ko a no batla o cha shoes yo bo madimane ane ke mo bone mina ha o la ke shoes aka mo bona ba ya aka sa anga mo bona shoes and ke sa to fita ke mo sa shoes ndo mo nsama ke shoes serious ha o la ke mara ke le ba ke le umfunya ya mama. Oh, ba tile botle ba fela ka ntho ya ba ditsela yang kwa e
so
o la ta puka ke pa ke mo ka pela shota ba ke na mo.
ka sa ba wa tswa e ba tsa tsi ya no ntate ya ka phaka ke ka mna te
Anga mna ti. Ano ko pela ni ka shi. Mama nunga nka suba bo kwa ke ka ba ke tsego kwa ka pa ke sila go e sile kwa.
Leading stories in your news this hour. Madala to appear at the Mazanga Commission and a couple arrested for climbing the Empire State Building.
I saw that.
A very good morning to you. It's 11 o'clock and we start with this. Alleged cartel member Vusmuzi Kat Matala is scheduled to appear before the Madanga Commission of Inquiry on Tuesday. Matala is at the center of allegations of criminal infiltration within law enforcement agencies at the Commission. Commission spokesperson Jeremy Michaels.
There hasn't been a witness appearing before the Commission who is incarcerated. Of course, there have been many other security-related issues, and we have dealt with those with the necessary sensitivity But obviously, given that we are talking about security-related matters by its very nature, we are not going to discuss that in public.
Over in the courts, the fraud and corruption case against suspended Ekurhuleni Metro Police Deputy Chief Julius Mkhwanazi and City Manager Kagiso Leruta has been postponed to the 13th of this month. The accused made a brief appearance at the Boksburg Regional Court east of Johannesburg this morning. The state alleges that Leruta paid Mkhwanazi 400,000 rand for an impersonator to appear in court on Leruta's behalf in 2019 after he was arrested for speeding. To the story now. Western Cape Police say the circumstances surrounding the fatal bus crash on the N1 near Dose River are under investigation. 16 people, among them at least 3 children, died in the crash shortly after midnight. Police says Andre Trout.
Several others sustained injuries. No other vehicles were involved in the accident. Emergency services responded swiftly to the scene, while the cause of the incident remains under investigation.
In other news, the Ahmed Kathrada Foundation has condemned President Cyril Ramaphosa's appointment of Dina Pule as Social Development Minister. It's also seeking urgent clarity on reports of a meeting in India involving former President Jacob Zuma, Ajay Gupta, and South Africa's High Commissioner. The foundation's Executive Director, Nishan Bolton.
It is a matter of huge concern. This is someone who has a history, whose public record is severely tarnished by corruption, nepotism, and dishonesty, and who will now head up the department that really looks after the most vulnerable and destitute of our country, and who sorely needs leadership with integrity.
And further afield, a couple has been taken into custody after climbing the very top of New York City's Empire State Building before apparently getting engaged. Russian nationals Angela Nicolau and Ivan Bierkus unfurled a large banner at the tip of the skyscraper's needle that read, "Where the power of love meets love, power the world knows peace." The couple, who've performed similar stunts around the world, are the subject of the 2024 Recapping the top story this hour. Alleged cartel member of Scozi Kaspatsala is Kendall Tunya before the Mazanga Commission of Inquiry on Tuesday. Nadia Romanos will have an explosion at 12 o'clock. For 5 News, I'm Yanaka Tenedi.
The music is amplified on your frequency.
Sawa jasho maka akantsho akanani if ili siko sawa ke mpa e ntho ke mpa e jwalo ka
ya batho ba tlo bona we go fela ha tse tsala ke batho mona na bona ga mona a choose tse jana fitting am double check sawa ise bisante
wena monni
sawa ise bisante
esiko baka ka mfiti
a sheba na ba itse
khotmanya ka mfiti
Kamwa abamasa batho ba
manje
ke ba tsamaiswa ba di 30 tsa ntlo di 30 tsa July
Wada vakanze vakashavantwani ntwani ndiwaka Gonna get it. Andalo kumbuno utsamekile lapha.
You're listening to 5 Mid-Morning Gabadiya. Monday to Friday, 9 to 12, only on 5 FM.
Kalau ada buat jalan man.
Mau utsamekile. Ubona pa. Overile. Boma ba mini market bona le nyewe ngata ba hlola le ke hutse le go mpesha fela hibo mampela shopo gongwana yo hai ba fitu ai ama Portuguese o tsebe ke batho ba ba le bona ba ya ka hai hai ma Portuguese ke makula hantle ba ya
Aku tu saya kiasan sangat sponsor government.
utsamekile ona a chisila somewhere ona le pa utsamekile.
Sekarang je, lah tu saja nanti. Kalau tak sahaja zonjo nanti.
Hano nchisa mzala nchu.
Maka nchisa tu.
Oh ai, fora king kau bilang ke tiba je. Song kalau tiba fujun, kalau nanti tahu what chance. I'm cheese. And I say, really exist. I don't know. I don't think, and then never. I don't really know how I really I'm cheese. I don't really do the cheese. But when I want to have a cheaper, so like como once I'm como mushroom. You play banana me. Blaze massive, but you see the protection order on number like massive. Don't cover it.
Yeah, we need to get the best. I'm very how it works, how is my privacy protected in this way? Yes, those are the questions that we have because I don't know if you've received the prompt yet where WhatsApp is telling you to reserve your username. So I use a phone brand that's Chinese. Yeah. So we don't have a relationship with a lot of, the apps immediately when they launch. It takes time. So I always see from you American phone users, the Korean phone users first. Yeah. Then we follow. So you haven't gotten that prompt to reserve your username? No. When you get a message to update your WhatsApp, give me like a month or two. Then I'll get it. Yeah. Is that a good thing, Jonathan? Somewhat. To an extent. It means I get to, you guys are the beta testers. You guys are the guinea pigs, if you will. Yeah. And then if it sucks from you, I'm like, let me just anticipate the disappointment. All right, so we'll get into that conversation up next. We'll speak to some people who will be able to break it to us. Yeah, we need that. What is this change with WhatsApp? Why do we need to reserve usernames? How does it protect our privacy? We'll get into that up next.
Ja, into the shop. Into the shop.
Since you wanna think out your late.
Dai, dai, sweet non da. Così.
Moscow, I should have had I saw
I push it, massive, energy. I push it,
I saw the modification. I enjoy the stress. It's
so una
I go ilong niya, nakala yung phone niya ram na yung mga boy.
Ay akala ko na inse ba ko na yung gumada the bailay na macha tama aga to kompa dito ang kema
So
ana po yaman akan ang trend kaya ang zafa ko mo na sila ka mai na isa chin ai ka ba ti ha ka trend ko no kung ya na orang tu zafa ini ya kan zafa ka man ke show
analytics dulu list ya gitu 3 months ini pun kayak information kalau waktu na kan dapat 6 months
boom masih punya
ada kalau jangan macam sih na so ay sana ni kaya atau kalau kamu ni cina boleh kaya
tahu يعني نلقى لك شيء انا جام اللي مصيبه اللي غيبونيو كده لو ننزل مسبا مع انتي فيها لا لا كان كثير قال يم لك كثير جواب انت ايه يم جواب انا شو لي عيل انت
Sa watu wala kaya kami sila
Oh, manja. Iya, kena. Rokok. Bumbu putih yang
Good ones go if I catch one slacking, I might just go in and claim it. As a youngin', I always do criminal things. If I see what I like, I take it, not complaining. She's a humble girl and she doesn't care if I'm famous. Still big on the slip and slide, I take a number, had her exes shaking. No one of these guys can do what I do with a stick off the game, I'm a Joe sensation. Tens on the line, tension in the back, I break it. Still gonna make her shake it. I know some guys just one hit, but when you're my girl, I lazy. What's that? She don't want no problem. Doesn't get around, shots, hard. A little freaky, little sticky, man, I couldn't leave. She just want God, she don't want no problem. Doesn't get around, shots, hard. A little freaky, little sticky, man, I couldn't leave.
It's yonder way. She just wanna party on 5 mornings with Carabo. Will make me feel all my feelings right before that. Welcome to the show. If you're only just tuning in right now, we're about to get in a conversation that's going to affect most of us who use WhatsApp because we're rolling out a new username feature that will allow users to connect without sharing phone numbers, marking a significant shift toward greater privacy and control on the platform. The update lets users create unique handles for messaging, reducing reliance on personal contact details, while sparking discussions about online safety, impersonation risks, and how the change should, or rather could, reshape digital communication. At the moment, Janaga and I are still so dizzy about this. I'm lost and I need help. There we go. And that is why we've got a cybersecurity expert, Rianet, on the line that's going to help us unpack that. Rianet, thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Robin. Thank you for the opportunity. Looking forward to it.
All right. Now, how will WhatsApp's new usernames feature change the way users connect? What is it exactly?
It changes the way WhatsApp used to work from a phone number network into more of an identity handle network. And until now, we know it's giving some of the WhatsApp things. You're giving them a piece of your personal infrastructure, mobile number, and that number is often linked to banking, delivery apps, your identity checks, and so on. The difference now is that you can use username instead of your number. So it's also nice for casual meetings and events and community groups and in business. So without giving your number, you now give this new handle. But there are a couple of concerns as well.
Does removing phone numbers actually improve user privacy?
Well, yes, but I would rather call it privacy improvement, not privacy protection, because it is still a puzzle piece. So and this is something to consider when you choose your handle, is if you choose the same handle that you would use on Instagram, for instance, people can now link with you on Instagram and then try to connect with you on WhatsApp, whereas in the past they would have had to DM you first, you would have had to choose to give them your number. Now they're going to use that same handle, so it's just something to be cautious about. But so we don't need to give our number anymore, but again, your number is a gateway to banking apps, payments and identification or verification situations. But your number, it won't disappear on WhatsApp because WhatsApp accounts still require a phone number people who already have your number may still interact with you in that way. But I do think that these usernames will reduce exposure, not necessarily the risk entirely.
I mean, that's lovely because you touch on that, but what are the new safety risks that come with this username-based messaging?
I think the biggest one, there are a couple, but the biggest one is the impersonation at scale. And for us to now be really careful as to if that's a trustworthy handle. I mean, someone else can now go and reserve a name or a company name, and you might think that you're communicating with them. They are reaching out to you, or you want a competition. So for me, that's the online is that they will be another layer of responsibility now to say, okay, if I get a message now all of a sudden in WhatsApp from someone, I need to now go and verify that again. So, yeah, that's
Because I'm even thinking now, if, for example, some may be able to just find you by
unless
typing
alo o na le bo diruthanyana he tse nyane le teng ha ele hore ha e flat ha le flat e wait I mean that doesn't take but hang ke beke for safety I'm checks ke primo na na mata me na ke for but ke e bereki se da kawa for
not something difficult, because you've got to just let's get someone that you now meet at an event, or for a work colleague, and say, okay, this is my handle. You don't want to make it difficult, but also not just which means that someone needs to before they can contact you, and that key will be inside WhatsApp under your settings, which I think is really good.
but you man ba mo la ke se buka spiritual
and just be
man ba di minsa po ba doze mi we ho patala ba ba ke tana bo ba di mbo ba
to be responsible. Trust the username alone and verify it. What's interesting for me is Robert, to look at the digital layer.
Ada saiti hanya influence kaya. Aja se wa au tuma saiti. Ba ka tuma saiti le bo mama ajite ngama ki ba na ba like for se ba tik yes ba claro. Da bo wa polisi ba na.
Phone number, so that's a great thing. We don't need to share numbers anymore, which I mentioned earlier. Is your number is linked to So it is definitely a privacy-focused feature, and it's an optional thing, the username. It's not also concerning because identity becomes easier to imitate, like we said. But at the end of the day, with anything that we do in the digital space, we can't be too careful, but we also shouldn't be too skeptical and fearful. It's another feature, and
I always say, listen, let's be the light online. We don't live in fear, but we do it responsibly. And of course, it also reminds us that we now need to be responsible. We cannot go and create handles impersonating other people, because that is actually against the community rules. And if you think about laws and so forth, you cannot impersonate anyone. But overall, I think what's great for younger people as well is that you don't need to give yourself a number to anyone anymore.
Yeah, because sometimes just like the giving numbers thing, sometimes we're really working on a project just for today. You don't need to have my number forever, you know what I mean? But a person will end up having your number forever because we needed to communicate on WhatsApp. So there are definitely some positives to it. Triana, thank you so much for joining us. If we just want to find out more from you about, cyber safety, is there a website you can give us so we can follow you on the socials or online?
Yes, please. My handle is Cyber Wellness with RiaNet, and I love to share some tips. And let's stay positive and be the light online and travel safe in cyberspace.
All right. Thanks so much, Renee. Chat soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.